Howdy hi, howdy ho, howdy grease makes you slow? Question mark? Or does it make you fast? Because before we recorded this podcast, Judd made the claim that if you're greasy, you are therefore faster.
Yes.
Now, I don't see how this tracks. I don't see how you can be faster by being greasy. I don't think that works.
In any situation, you're going to be faster if you're greased up. That's why they grease up hogs. They grease up hogs when they're hunting down hogs.
No,
when they're like doing a bit.
It's so that they're not so easily catchable. So that
I know they're like slippy and they're greased up, but also while they're skedaddling along, the grease you see, it's
surely it would make them slip more and therefore be slower.
I wanted to pick like a weird hill to die on because I thought it'd be funny, but I genuinely can't think of a reason for it to work.
For fuck's sake, you dumbass! That we just configured your microphone, Judd. Try and make your mouth as close to it as possible.
Oh, god damn it!
Because it sounds beautiful, is why you can actually sound good for once, as well as
I don't want to sound good.
And
I don't want to get married either, Dad.
Okay. Anyway, coming up in today's podcast, there's all sorts of shit. I'm exhausted, and the missus away, so the beers come out to play. Way!
Fucking hell. I hate women.
Hold on. Right, Judd, come on. I need some more enthusiasm from you behind this.
I just went away. I hate women. That's as much enthusiasm.
I said that, and I went way, and you were like way.
You didn't hear that.
I'm going to do the whole pantomime thing, and we're going to try that again. Okay. I want to hear some ranting and raving, some manic excitement at the fact that the missus is away, so the beers can come out to play. Way!
Stupid bitch!
So we've also got, we're going to be talking about the state of YouTube boxing, so that I can put that in the title and the thumbnail and we can get more clicks. There's a story about our childhood from our dad that sprung into my brain the other day, and I decided to put on the podcast. We're going to have one of our regular segments. I'm going to tell you about Kenny Barrett. Yeah. You don't know him, but you might want to. And then we'll see later on if we've got time for me to tell you about this odd bird that I heard about. But first, what have you been up to, Judd?
Fuck all. Sweet fuck all.
Sweet home Alabama.
Yes, my tournament is this weekend, and I've been painting like crazy to get everything ready. And I've got everything nearly ready, and realized that, I ordered them at the start of the month. You're supposed to have bases done for these models as well, so that they can be like qualified as done for the tournament. And the bases haven't shown up, so I might end up painting all these models and then still not be able to use them, which is not very motivating, really.
This is the model painting competition that you told us about last time.
Yeah, so it's not a competition for painting models. It's a tournament, and all of your models have to be painted. I don't know if there's like a best painted category or anything in this. I'm not going for it. I just want my shit to look nice. Yeah. So that's it. It's just annoying because I'm there. I've nearly got everything done. But it's like, so what? I still won't be able to play because these things haven't shown up. So
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. Hopefully it goes well. And if you're interested in models, I'm sure you'll be interested. It's all a joke. They are actually quite interesting. I'm sure people might be interested to hear about whether you win or not.
My dream nerd GF is out there somewhere listening to this.
No, fuck me.
I'm kidding.
Is what you would say.
She's in Seattle. She's in Seattle.
Potentially. Maybe. Who knows?
But I got a whole load of groupies in Seattle.
Big hold of groupies. They're all holed up
I've got a big hold on him. I've cornered the market on him. On Seattle groupies.
Our audience size is 3, so there's at least 2 whole people that are eligible to be Judd's group is in Seattle. So
ladies.
Anyway, look, Judd, I know you're really, really interested in YouTube boxing, as I say every time. God.
Yes.
So as always, I'll let you know what's going on because you get so excited every time I bring it up, don't you?
Yes.
I'm yes.
Yeah.
I am yes about
Sweeney Todd? Do you ever watch Sweeney Todd?
Yeah, I've seen Sweeney Todd.
You know when Mrs. Lovett's like trying to sing to him about the beach, and she's like getting really excited for the prospect of living this life, and she's like, "Do you want to know?" And Johnny Depp's like slumped in a chair, and he goes, "Yes," like really.
Yeah. Well,
go on.
It's been a bit of a palaver. So this month, we're in August as of recording this. It'll probably be going out in August as well. There was set to be 3 pretty big YouTube boxing events.
Yeah.
I'll start with the current, who I consider the current pound for pound top of YouTube boxing, which is Jake Paul. He was supposed to be fighting. Drum roll, everyone.
Go on.
Was that a good drum roll? Could you hear it?
It was. I heard it.
Tommy Fury.
Yes, I didn't know about this one because I remember you saying.
Judd knew about one for once.
No, because you said that's why I knew because you said
he was supposed to be fighting him a while ago, and then Tommy Fury ended up pulling out because. Well, the excuse was he hurt his rib through some sort of sparring or something. But we all know that his big brother Tyson Fury was smashing a really heavy object into his ribs as preparation for the fight. There's actual video evidence of it happening. So it's a bit like hard for him to be like, no, it wasn't that. Because like everyone's like, come on. It was that.
It's what, eh?
I guess it's part of the training. It's supposed to toughen his body up, so if he gets hit with body shots, it won't hurt as bad, and he can.
What, so he took a hammer and just started whacking him in the stomach,
do you know what a medicine ball is?
Yeah, no, I know. I like that Eminem song. It's a good song.
Yeah, so he got Eminem's CD, and he was just like smacking it into a medicine ball. The exercise equipment. Yeah, he was shoving it. It was just literally the first video. He's just picking it up and slamming it. This dude's like 7 foot tall. And he just and you can see his brother's like laid on the floor, like like terrified. Because who the fuck wouldn't be terrified of that? Holy shit! So that's why that messed up. But so then. Typically, Jake Paul. What?
Like the idea that his brother's just like, dude, Jake Paul's gonna beat you. I gotta savor the embarrassment. He's just like whacking him in the stomach with his fucking medicine ball.
But genuinely, like, there's a lot of people that it's like to the point where like. You can definitely speculate as to whether people don't want to fight Jake Paul because they're scared of losing at this point. Because he's actually beaten some fairly decent fighters at this point. So anyone who goes in there with him has got an alright chance of getting knocked out to the floor. And how embarrassing would it be to get knocked out by the hated YouTuber Disney kid?
I was gonna say, like, when you started, like, it's awful that you gotta sit there and say the pinnacle, like he's literally the pinnacle of YouTube boxing, but he is. Nobody else is doing as good as him. You show me shit, like, he seems to be the only person. Well, no, there's other people, but, like, you know, he really takes it seriously and he really tries. And, like, he's done a fantastic job to get where he is. And you can't say otherwise because it's just the fact. It's awful that I have to sit here and say that, but I have to say it. Because
there's loads of people who take it really seriously and really try, but
there's
no one who's taken it to the levels he's taken it to. Yeah. No one. Nobody has. And so back to like this month, typically Jake Paul doesn't offer if anyone pulls out of his fighting with him, it's like you fucked it. We're not fighting now. Ever. You've done it now. No fight for you. But he made a little bit of an exception for Tommy Fury just because it's such a perfect kind of fight at this stage in Jake's career. Okay. He needed to fight a real boxer, in quotes, and how much more real can you get than Tommy fucking Fury? He's got the Fury name to him. Plus, Jake also needs people who've got a big enough online profile to make it worth fighting them. So Tommy Fury, having come from Love Island and got a bunch of Instagram followers and all sorts by being the most successful couple ever to come from Love Island, fits that perfectly, realistically. Yeah. Plus, he's in the UK. There's a bit of a kind of rivalry there. All of that. Plus, he could actually fucking beat him. Like, it would be a really hard fight, but he can actually fucking do it. So they organised that for this month instead. It was getting very exciting, and then really close to fight day, and Tommy Fury can't get to America.
Yes, he's not allowed.
Oh, kind of because...
He's out of there!
Do you know why?
No, I just know he's not allowed.
Have a guess.
I did see that.
I really doubt you will guess this. Have a guess.
It's not... He wouldn't have had anything to do with like the protests at Washington or anything, would it? Like that's nothing.
What, Tommy Fury?
No. I know because he's like from the UK. Like there's no reason he would have been there, and so it's not that reason. I don't know. Did he say something? Did he say I'm gonna bring a fucking bomb in to blow up Jake Paul?
Weirdly, you're not that far off.
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
Apparently, the Fury family has too many ties with the IRA.
Ah, okay.
But they haven't. It's just that someone who did promote them at one point, but like not really, like kinda was involved with some bit of promotion of them, not that closely, has been found to have stronger links to the current IRA than expected, or something like that. So how America's like with their borders.
It's not Tyson Fury, is it? Who is it?
It's Tommy who's
Tommy Fury. It's not like Tommy Fury's gonna show up with a fucking bomb, is it? It's like
it's more that they'd probably be worried that someone in the IRA would really want Tommy to win, to the point where if it looks like he's losing, there's stuff like that you could worry about. But seriously, their family isn't that closely tied, honestly. They're really not.
Yeah.
And plus, they have to have checks on anyone who comes with them. And plus, if anyone's going to do terrorist, then they wouldn't be allowed, I think it's a bit much.
It's just stupid. It's just stupid. There's no real reason for it.
But that's why I can see American borders being that, strict. I could see how that could actually be
I get it. I'm not surprised.
But I can also see how some people are sus that he might be scared of fighting Jake Paul. And these have been two kind of excuses that mean, he can look like he wanted to, but he wasn't allowed to, So I can see how these could be those. But, Jake basically were like, look, just go to the American embassy in London and get a fucking visa. It really shouldn't be that hard. But there was never any update from Tommy Fury or any of his representatives about whether they were even trying to do that. So, next, we get a new opponent for Jake Paul called... I know, and now you'll be excited for this one, Judd. Hasim Rahman Jr.
I like him.
Do you?
What's he about?
Do you know him? No, you don't.
No, he just sounds like a cool guy. Why do I have to know him? He just sounds...
There was quite a famous, I think he was a world champion heavyweight called Hasim Rahman, and it's his son. So there's a bit of a profile there. He's had, I think, 1 or 2 more fights than Tommy Fury, and a lot of people were looking at this replacement opponent like, damn, he's actually probably quite a lot better than Tommy Fury. Typically, if you're having a replacement opponent, they're worse than the person you were going to be fighting.
No, it's like Biffy Clyro showing up at Download. It's like, we got what we could.
Yeah, exactly. But everyone was like, oh shit. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we'll pause that one because it's time to flick to a different fight.
Oh, okay.
So that's the state of that.
Oh my god! There's a B plot. There's a B plot to this.
There's a B and a C plot going on here. I'm fucking telling you. Next, we're flittering over to Social Gloves Boxing. This is one of the most scummy boxing organisations has been so far. That's been associated with one Austin McBroom, who was headlining their first ever boxing event card. Now, this was a card where they had a golden boy who a certain Anisom Gibb was fighting. Now, when
That
Nissan
rings a bell.
fought
That
his
rings a
opponent,
bell.
it was registered as a draw. And everyone was like, what the fuck? Gib won every single round, and it wasn't even close. So they had to overturn that later on. So the storyline here was, Gib's like, right, Austin, we all know that you've got big shares in this shitty company that's kind of fucked me over here.
Yeah.
We're fighting next. I want to fight you next. Because Austin won his fight as well. So that's the narrative. Exciting, good fight. They're both similar skill levels, similar weights. It's going to be good. We're rooting for Big Gibber from the UK, fighting Social Scams McBroom. Then, Austin McBroom and his team are kind of like, Gibbs probably got some problems with him, Athletic Commission. He probably can't, he doesn't look right, he can't fight, he needs testing out. So Gib is like, the fuck? They have to postpone the event indefinitely so far. There's no confirmed new fight date for this whole card. Okay. And then Gib travels to America and gets his test. He's like, look, fine, they've cleared me. The fuck is wrong with you? And that's where we're at with that one. Meanwhile, back in the UK, the prodigal son is returning. KSI is gearing up. Announced his
Lamborghini
with Alex Wasabi. None other than Alex Wasabi. Do you know him?
I know. I've heard of him.
Alex Wasabi recently beat Deji, because who fucking couldn't beat Deji?
That's where I've heard of it. Yeah.
And KSI clowned on Alex Wasabi for a while because Alex had wanted to fight him, and they weren't in the same league, and there were an embarrassing video of him actually getting knocked down or knocked out in sparring. So there was a bit of a comeback trail and then Alex fought Deji and beat him, so now it sets up a nice kind of warm-up fight, because people are like, KSI should still be able to convincingly beat this guy, but there is some kind of way Alex could win, and there's some narrative there. Fairly excited for that fight. And there's a lot of fights on the undercard, including one Deji, who is fighting FusiTube. Do you remember him?
I do know. Okay, yes.
Look up FusiTube body transformation and see how fucking ripped he's gotten.
FusiTube.
So, I don't know if you're thinking of the same guy, but you probably
are.
I
know. I just... I didn't expect to see formation. I didn't expect to see FusiTube
Fusi got beaten by a guy called Slim, and it was an embarrassing loss. So that's why it kind of sets up perfectly for Fusi to fight Deji, because Deji's never fucking won. And Fusi's like, Deji at one point said that Fusi would be an easy fight if he wanted to take an easier fight and stuff like that. So it's all kind of set up like that as well.
Take it, Deji, because you obviously need it, mate.
Exactly. So there's that on the undercard. So at this point, KSI's like, my event's the only one that's going on. Jake Paul's fucked it. Scams McBroom's fucked it. This is a big win. But there was a shadow on the horizon, Judd. A dark cloud in the air. Because we kind of find out that Alex Wasabi is being advised closely by a certain promotion company. Fuck me. No, Vitali's not fighting on this one. So, by a certain promotional company called MVP Promotions, which is co-founded by one Mr. Jake Paul.
Okay, all right.
So then there's rumours of, is Jake going to be there in Alex's corner or there on the night or something like that? No, what Jake is going to do, potentially, allegedly, is make Alex Wasabi pull out of the fight to ruin KSI's event as well. So what the official story... What's actually officially happened is that Alex Wasabi's got a concussion through training somehow. There's no evidence of this so far.
He got a concussion with that fucking 50 mil that Jake Paul threw at his head.
Well, I can't remember who, I heard somewhere that, and it will be a rumour, I'm not certain this is true, that Alex was offered from Jake's promotion company $2 million plus a 3-fight deal. So like guaranteed 3 fights that could pay like nearly $1 million each.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily true. What's most likely is he's got a concussion, to be fair. But you could kind of see how some meddling could be done from Jake Paul to fuck over KSI's event as well.
If you wanted to put your tinfoil hat on and do some stretching, I don't think it'd be that far a reach.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You wouldn't need Mr. Fantastic to grab you that from the top shelf, would you?
You wouldn't need him to be like, "Hi, I'm that guy from The Office."
Yeah. Where's Pam? She's got a fantastic set of tits.
Oh, I'm dead. I'm already dead.
Have you seen that movie now?
No. I just know that.
It sucks. Anyway, so that's happened. Now, don't worry. So then at this point they're like, "Oh my god, the main event and even this potentially the next biggest card of KSI's fight, an opponent's pulled out of both of those because one of the other bigger fights someone pulled out of." Now, just quickly on the other fight that someone pulled out of, it was FaZe Temper versus I think it was Blueface. I don't know who Blueface is. FaZe Temper has beaten another UK YouTuber recently. Now he's fighting a guy called Slim, who I think is a better fight. Slim's been more active in YouTube boxing. He's got more experience potentially. I think that's a better fight. So that's actually a good thing. Now, KSI needs another opponent for this event to go ahead. So naturally, everyone's like, "Oh, Jake Paul's not got an opponent. KSI's not got an opponent. They should fight. They should fight." Now, there's a lot of reasons why that shouldn't happen. From my perspective, being Team KSI's not ready for Jake Paul. That's the main reason why I don't want it to happen. But there's loads of other reasons. You wouldn't want to organise what could genuinely be seriously up there, contending with the biggest fights of all history. Fuck YouTube boxing history. Ever. Full stop. Done. That's the type of numbers we're talking with their fight. So why would you do it on 3 weeks short notice? That's not gonna. No management is ever gonna allow that. No company who is the people who really control this shit is ever gonna let that happen. Yeah. So it's just not gonna happen. Plus, there's visas to sort out, contracts. Jake Paul claims he would do it for fucking free, but would he?
No, he wouldn't. I was just about to say, look, as much as I really respect how much Jake Paul's transformed to do this, and I really admire that he's like wanting to go for an actual boxer, not only to further his career and stuff, but also I hope that also because he wants to like test himself and get better at this. But there's no denying that he's doing this for the money as well. Like he's not gonna. Yeah, like KSI's not just gonna go, "All right then, meet me on this street corner. We'll Facebook Live it and we'll just fight each other." It won't happen. He'd be like, "No, we can make millions. Are you stupid?" And I don't blame him either. But don't get it twisted. Don't fucking sit there and say you'd do it for free because we know you wouldn't.
I genuinely believe though that the main motivator for both of those two guys is to show in front of everyone who's the top dog.
I think so as well.
One in this scene.
I think so as well, but I also definitely, and both of them as well. Both of them want the money as well.
Of course they do. Of course.
So, that's totally fine. I would as well. Just don't lie about it.
It's time. It's not gonna happen. And KSI tweets that. Oh, fucking dumbass, he's trying to leap on this hype. He didn't realise that if we made plans in case this didn't happen so that he couldn't chirp his mouth. Yeah. We already had a backup opponent contracted. So everyone patiently awaits the announcement. Yes. And it's like, oh, it's dropped. The announcement's dropped. KSI is now going to be fighting Swarmz.
Of what? Like locusts? Like what? Like what?
Swarmz.
I'd watch that actually. KSI fights a swarm of locusts.
Honestly, that'd probably be more interesting.
Can you imagine? They don't tell him. Could you imagine his face? It's like, oh, I'm so excited for this mystery opponent. Who's it's going to be? KSI versus Swarm of Locusts.
It's some Rick and Morty type shit.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Who
he's
the fuck
fighting
is Swarm?
Swarmz. He's a rapper, a UK rapper, who KSI has a song with.
Oh, okay.
So,
Right.
but then, at one point on Instagram Live, this Swarmz fellow like, oh, I could fucking beat KSI. Blah, blah, blah. So, Swarmz has never actually fought in a boxing ring in an official fight. He's gone from Logan Paul to... It's just like, it's so underwhelming, man. And KSI himself has made a video about it. And he said, look, I hate this too. I don't want to do it. But it's the scenario that we're in. So fucking stop complaining, everyone, is kind of what he said. And that's fair enough, I think. It's true, but it is underwhelming, and it's just kind of like, why should people want to watch? But I have to agree, there's a lot of other good fights on that card, and I'm just excited to see, because KSI's done a massive body transformation. He's claiming to be way better than he was before, and I really want to see how good he is.
Does he just keep getting bigger and bigger? Like, he was already massive the last time I saw him.
No, if you look up KSI body transformation as well, I'm just checking it comes up with the right one.
I was about to say I'm gonna have so many half-naked men in my history.
If you Google it, you can see it.
I was just gonna say I got far worse on my internet history.
I'll send it to you on Discord. The one I mean.
I've got it here. Oh, is there a specific one?
So I've sent you a picture of it. So he's gotten fucking shredded. So it's people people are excited for that. He's claiming to be like way better, way more technical than he was before. So it's really going to be interesting to see how close he is to Jake Paul's level. Because let's be honest, that's the fight we all really want to see.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention. Sorry, I've done this in the slightly wrong order. Jake Paul's opponent it got cancelled as well. Because he couldn't get down in weight. He often fights at heavyweight, this guy, and he needed to bring himself down to a different weight category. He basically couldn't do that. He shouldn't have agreed to the contract. But also, he did have another week to lose more weight, but he needed to lose like 15 pounds in a week. And for New York, they're more strict about like losing water weight and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't think it would have happened, and I think it would have been cancelled like on the day, and people would have been really pissed. So I think it was the right decision, and it was kind of more Hasim's fault really than anything else. But so I don't know what the fuck Jake Paul's gonna do next. It seems like if he doesn't fight before like next year or so, Jake Paul, then it's got to be KSI, right? Surely that lines up. If KSI can beat Swarmz, maybe get maybe another opponent under his belt, before kind of late next year, then that really kind of set that up that they'd be on an even kind of ground, and that would be that's the mega fight everyone wants to see. So I don't know. We'll see how fucking Swarmz does, as Jake Paul called him. But it's all a bit fucked. We've got a Jake Paul fight fucking cancelled, and he's gone through 2 opponents that wouldn't agree to it. We've got a scammy event organizer that's not announced another date for an event that shouldn't have even been pushed back, potentially. We've got KSI fighting a guy. Honestly, you need to Google KSI versus Swarmz as well and look at the poster for it. Because Swarmz is just like, people have been clowning him because he looks like he's just gotten out of bed. He looks like super sleepy. He's wearing a t-shirt and he's just holding up his hands. God. So it's just all a bit fucked. But it's really interesting to follow along the hype of. Now, until this next event happens, the only one we've got left, you would think that would be it.
You would
hope. It's not it, Judd. Right. That's not it. Because KSI tweeted at Jake Paul saying, basically, I'm going to send you a contract for next year. Wembley Arena, fighting next year. I'm guessing it'll be really late next year. We're talking November, December time, because KSI is going to want as much time to prepare as possible. And potentially have some other fights before then. And winner takes it all. All the revenue that those two fighters would make from that fight, the winner gets. No split purse. Not getting paid for just showing up. Winner takes it all. Now, obviously, Jake Paul's it's not going to go down straight like that. So Jake's like, I'll accept that. We'll do that if you say that as of today, I am the best boxer out of us two. So that's where the stumbling point was, because, I mean, these guys have got massive egos. So, yeah. So, obviously, KSI's response was not what you fucking thought. He says, as of today, in boxing, you are better. Holy shit, boys, it's happening. This is what we've got going on. So, they've verbally agreed to each other's terms completely. So, currently, it's looking like the mega fight. People are calling it
the big one.
The Avengers Endgame of YouTube boxing.
Wow, I wish they didn't.
No, it tracks. You know, there might be other ones that are big events later on, but it's like this is the end game, Judd.
It's the Dark Souls of all boxing matches.
We had KSI versus Joe Weller. I'm literally getting shivers talking about this shit. We had KSI versus Joe Weller, which was the fucking Iron Man of it. We had KSI versus Logan Paul 1, which was the Avengers of it. We've had fucking a bunch of other ones in between, like the iDubbbz event that we watched, which was kind of like an Age of Ultron, or perhaps The Defenders, or something, or maybe a Spider-Man No Way Home.
That was the boys. What you're talking about? Just fucking goofy.
and then we're building up to the end game. It looks like we're getting like a bit of an Infinity War thing going on first, but yeah, I'm guessing it'll be late next year if it does happen at all. There's still all sorts that could go wrong, but it's fucking exciting.
And then after they do that, they're gonna continue with the Marvel copying, and it's gonna be the multiverse like saga, and then they're gonna start bringing in people like people who do mukbangs and shit. They're gonna be in the ring, and people from TV
that's
shows.
Already happening. We're already getting glimpses of that because TikTok stars are getting involved. So
there's gonna be like Gustavo Fring in the ring.
We'll end up getting who's the like Jake Paul of like I don't know, of like baking or something like that. We'll end up having like a baking boxing universe, or like celebrity chefs. We could do celebrity chefs boxing. You know, Jamie Oliver versus fucking Heston Blumenthal. Obviously, Gordon Ramsay would be the champ. Like, well, you gotta state him as a champ to start with. Come
on. Oh my god, I would pay top dollar to see Gordon Ramsay actually kick Jamie Oliver's head in. I would pay so much money.
That motherfucker ruined our school dinners.
He did.
So yeah, that's YouTube boxing. It's very exciting. I love it a lot. Speaking of which, if you're also interested in YouTube boxing, Judd has also done a Jake Paul and KSI and verbally agreed to watch the KSI event. I know it's a different opponent now, but you're still fucking doing it. You know this shit. Which is August 27th. It's on a Saturday night.
Well, I think I'm free.
So you need to make sure you're free for that, because we'll be doing a similar thing to we did with the iDubbbz event, recording our reactions, and all of that jolly entertainment. You can come chill with us, get pissed with us, have over-the-top reactions with us, and hopefully enjoy some interesting knockouts. There's one particular guy who's very lanky, and if he gets knocked out, that'd look hilarious. Plus, just imagine Deji and FusiTube fighting. Like, that's gonna happen. Like, who'd have ever fucking thought of that? You know, back in, like, 2009, when FusiTube's doing, like, fake pranks or some shit.
Yeah,
who'd have thought when he's
out here kissing strangers, big quotation marks.
I don't think that was him, but, you know, it was...
He did that as well, didn't he?
No,
I thought he did a little bit of that.
He did no, he did pranks like that. You know, that sort of like shitty. They're obviously fake.
That's the kind. That's the kind. I thought that was the kind of like prank he did, though. I thought he'd be like getting girls to kiss me, getting strange girls to kiss me.
I was never interested in it. So.
I don't know.
But yeah,
that might not have been him. But I'll tar him with the same brush because it's something to do.
I think that's okay to do.
Yeah.
So right, lovely. That's that. Anyway, I've been blabbing on about that for ages, but I'm very very excited and interested about it. But I'll quickly do a hard left turn into a different topic. Our bedroom at our dad's house, Judd. Do you remember it?
I do.
Describe the configuration of the room when we both used it.
2 single beds on the upper sides of the room, pushed to the far end corners. In the middle of the 2 single beds is a wardrobe that is designed as a TARDIS from Doctor Who. The left-hand side of the TARDIS wardrobe, for some reason, Dad actually put it on upside down, so the window was on the bottom instead of the top.
Oh, yeah. How did he mess that up?
I don't know. Yeah, then in the front of the middle room, in the front of the middle of the room, against the wall was like a TV and this like a stand that it stood on, and like an Xbox in that and stuff. That was like us when we were children.
When you open the door, it's a square room, and you'd be looking at one of the beds, and the other bed was in the opposite corner. Well, it was on the. So you open the door,
look to your right,
and you open the door, and it was in the bottom left corner. You look ahead of you. There's a bed in the top left, and then there's another single bed in the top right. TARDIS is between those. Opposite the TARDIS is TV and a stand and stuff. So next to the bed in the top right corner, there was a window next to your bed, wasn't there? Quite a big window. It was a double window.
Yeah, and, they were big windows because Dad specifically got them in case there was a fire and we needed to like jump out of the windows.
Yeah, weird how dads think of stuff like that. I don't know why. I would have never thought that, you know? I think he was encouraging us to jump out of the window.
I think it was, you know, if ever I'd like pull a Hereditary and you wake up covered in gasoline, also because I've tried to set you ablaze, then at least you can jump out the window.
So yeah, there was that next to your bed on that side. And do you remember one time we'd gone to our dad's? We'd done our usual of getting a pizza. We'd eat the pizza, and then as soon as we could slip away, we'd run upstairs to play PlayStation games, which was pretty much what we did the entire time we were there. We'd try and escape whatever else was going on to run and play PlayStation games. It's
pretty much what we do now. So,
yeah. I'm playing PlayStation right now under the desk. No, so that's what we'd do. And we were playing games for a while, and then it'd get dark eventually. And I'm like, oh my god, there's like it looks a bit like a face on the window. Do you remember this?
No.
So I saw this kind of. It was like a smudge on the window that looked like a face.
Oh god! No, I know where this is going. I know the story. Yeah,
so
go on.
Because Judd's fucking gross, I figured he must have shoved his face into the window, or put his handprints all over the window, and it must have formed a face somehow. Or I'm just seeing look of a face.
I gotta say fair play to you as well, because that's fully believable that I looked outside and there was like a bird or something. I went ooh, and I pressed my face up against the window to look at the
very regularly.
Yeah. So there's a frog. It's like against the window.
Yeah, so I told my dad, I was like, well, we didn't clean it up or anything like that. We just kept playing PlayStation. We didn't think about it. And the next day, we were making us breakfast or something, and I've ended up saying to him for some reason, like, oh, there's like, I think, I don't think I threw you into the bus. So there's like some sort of smudge on the window. It looks a bit like a
you would have thrown me into
face.
the bus, you bitch. I know you would have done it.
I don't think I would. I don't think I would have. I would have potentially said that knowing that he's gonna give you shit for it because he didn't think it was you. But I said, oh, it looks kind of. But if it didn't look like a face, I don't think I would have mentioned it at all. But it looks kind of like a face. So I said it to him, and he was like, oh, really? And he didn't go and look at it immediately, but he must have looked at it another time. And then the next time I went to his room, it had been cleaned. It had been cleaned off. Now, that's where the story could end. But many years later, when we were adults, our dad admitted to us that that wasn't Judd's fault at all.
No.
And he was fully aware of what that mark was. Because what the mark was him and one of his mates had gone on a night out and brought two, I was gonna say women of the night, but that means prostitute. They weren't prostitutes, they were just sluts. Look, what? I don't know.
Lovely ladies that wanted to get the holes filled. That doesn't make them sluts, like...
No, my dad and his friend were sluts.
Oh, okay. That's
I phrased that horribly now. I'm thinking about it. That's not what that sounded like.
You're trying to call dad is a slut. So
they brought two lustful ladies back, let's say, and I don't know why they'd gone back to my dad's house. It must have been most convenient, but he did. I think at the time he must have not had the really small spare room that he's got now, because he could have gone into his room, and then his friend and the other lady could have gone into the small spare room and not gone into our room.
Yeah.
That we weren't in when this happened, obviously.
We don't live at Dad's, so we will have been out at this time. He didn't. Dad didn't come in while we were asleep and was like, "Clear the room, I need it."
So, but the thing is, I think it was still a little office space at that time, so they weren't exactly both gonna like rail these women in the same room. Yeah. So, my dad went into his room, and then this other guy. Look, long story short, he just fucked this woman, fucked the shit out of this woman, doggy style, on Judd's bed, but her face was shoved against the window. Bed. So it was a makeup imprint.
Yeah.
Nice. And you could, thinking about it, you could see her like.
It was straight up. It's like if it was a murder scene, it'd be perfect. It'd just be the perfect cast.
Yeah, you could just see this like squished up against the window face.
I actually think if we would have took a picture of that and like gone around town looking for this woman, I actually think we could have ID'd this one without
holding it up to various faces.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, that's crazy. I that story's hilarious. It's funny how like your parents can tell you stories that they couldn't tell you when you were younger. But now you're older, it's they'll find this funny now.
I feel like that's like it's not just our dad. I think other dads would do it, but it's an our dad kind of thing. Like because I know a lot. Yeah. I know a lot of dads who wouldn't tell their kids that. Like a lot of my friends' dads wouldn't tell them that.
Yeah, so I think that's a bit far for most dads, but not for ours. But I have to say, I recently had to share a hotel room with my uncle because we drove down to a funeral and it was really far away. So I went back to the room like fairly early because I was shattered from driving, but there was a pub like right next to the hotel we were staying at, and all my family stayed there. So he came back like a kind of drunk, like a bit tipsy, not really drunk. And we had a conversation about like how he's like really disappointed in how the quality of marijuana's changed over the years, which he would have never talked to me about before.
Why am I not talking to your uncle? What's going on?
He was quite matter-of-factly went, do you smoke weed? I'm like, nah, no.
Yeah,
I don't like smoking at all.
You should have just called me.
As he was leaning out of the window when he shouldn't have been smoking a cigarette. And I was like, no, smoking's fucking stupid, I hate it. But he was saying how like it just used to be just like nicer. It wasn't like a thing that you'd smoke in a rush to get high. It was just like more chill, and he was just like...
I know what he's talking about. It was more of a social thing than an itch to scratch. So,
I don't know. I think a lot of adults would tell you things that they might not before, but our dad's probably more extreme with that. But so actually, something else my uncle was telling me about when he came round to look at my house was about one Kenny Barrett. This is a kid
that... go on.
that my uncle knew growing up and my grandma knew growing up.
Yeah.
And apparently he was a fucking maniac. And this is what I have to tell you about him. And he reminds me of you. It's the type of shit that you would do if you didn't have me to regulate you when you was a kid.
This will happen at some point, essentially, then, yeah. Like,
Well,
I've
managed to get you to being an adult to the point where you probably won't do this sort of thing now. But when you were a kid, you probably would have. If I went there to, like, sort every so often go, no, that's going to blow up. And shrapnel will go in your eyes. It's like I wouldn't be like, stop, please, no. I'd be like, oh, Judge, just so you're aware, if you continue on this path, you will likely be blinded.
Yeah,
now,
you know
choice,
what?
But
it's like you're not being a good brother. You're being like. Sometimes games get.
I'm like that clip assistant on Microsoft Word.
Yeah, no, it's like that. I was gonna say that, but also kind of like, if you're playing like a video game or something, and you're too low a level to go in a certain area, the game will be like, you shouldn't be here because you're too low of a level, but I won't stop you. You're free to do what you want. That's the level of responsibility there. It's like almost like a scripted thing. It's like, Jordan, just so you're aware, if you put a blank against your head and fire it from a gun, it can still kill you. I'm just need this information just to do what you will with that. Just saying.
Exactly. So Kenny Barrett was that kind of kid, apparently.
Yeah.
And one time, Kenny got arrested when he was a kid. He actually got arrested more than once, but we'll go with the time that it was let off with a caution. I don't know how young this kid was. I'm picturing like 8. And apparently, one time, he'd managed to get his hands on these things that I think they're called... It's not railway sleepers. I think it's railway chargers. Let me Google railway chargers real quick.
Okay.
Railway chargers. Railway chargers. Looking at images of this. Is it what I think it is? I don't know. I don't know if that's the right word, but basically, my uncle also kind of used to work with a railway, not on a railway, but with a railway company at one point. And he told me what these things were. And apparently, they're like little explosive chargers. Like it's like an explosive cased in a bit of metal. So what they're used for is what they used to be used for. I don't think they have them anymore. It used to be that if you couldn't get a message to a train quick enough, they could run over and put these like a few of these charges on the track. So the train would run over it, and it'd make a big enough explosion to go. So the railway driver was like, there's a problem, emergency, stop the train. You know? So somehow Kenny Barrett had got some of these.
Nice. Now, they're just like really loud, like poppers, like floor bangers to him. Really, if he sets his mind to it.
Yeah. So
me and Kenny Barrett would have been friends.
Yeah, you would have. And I don't know what the fuck he was actually doing with them, but apparently he managed to set one of the fuckers off and nearly killed himself and like blown up part of his house or some shit with this thing. So then obviously the police come round and they're like, wait, there was an explosion. What the fuck's going on here? Yeah. And he's like, not telling you, mate. Just don't want to tell him.
Don't tell him, Kenny. With half your arm missing, don't let him know shit.
And apparently, apparently, for some reason, he'd only tell them if my grandma came.
Oh,
he wasn't related to my grandma in any way.
Same. Oh, if your grandma came, I thought you were saying like he was. Came. I thought you were saying he wouldn't tell unless his grandma came.
No. He had his own grandma. Yeah. He wanted my grandma. She wasn't my grandma yet, but you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And basically, my grandma came and went, "Just tell him, Kenny. What's the problem?" He's like, "Oh, okay. I had a railway charge." It's fucking weird. My grandma was like, "No, he was fine," and my uncle kept like, "Nah, this kid."
This kid was
screw loose.
Because
he told me another story about when he got arrested and sent to juvenile prison. Because as around 16-year-old, he just fucking stole a truck. He just was like, "Oh shit, there's a truck here." and he just took it.
Sound.
Just took this truck and crashed it into someone's living room.
Was everybody good? Is everybody alive?
He might have just knocked over a wall or some shit. No one got hurt from what I could tell. But I don't know. I don't know if anyone got hurt. I wasn't there. But yeah, he got in trouble for that. But I don't know. I thought you fit in on this podcast. I thought that was
I like
worth mentioning. Worth mentioning for sure. Anyway, it's time for this next segment we're going to do.
That's it.
This segment is This Is Why You Are Wrong. It's where I present Judd with a certain premise. He gives me his stance on this premise, and I have to convince him why he is wrong. Today's debate is the worst torture method.
Oh, God.
What do you think, Judd? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking something along the eyes, something along the lines of like an isolation torture kind of thing, or like a sensory deprivation torture kind of thing.
Right.
They're the two that are springing to mind, because I could say, oh, put a, you go medieval on them, put a bunch of rats in a bucket and stick the bucket to a guy's belly, and then, put a thing going at the end and the rats will... But, that fucking sucks, but you probably go into some sort of shock from that, almost immediately. Like, when they start getting to the juicy bits in there, you'll probably go into some sort of shock. I could have said I probably would have said some form of drowning a bit ago, because drowning used to freak me out until I realized that actually your brain realizes when it's drowning, it actually releases a shit ton of feel good chemicals into you to help you through that. So that's actually one of the better ones. But isolation specifically, being in the hole in prison, very tight space, blank walls on everything, you can barely move, you got a toilet to shit in. That's indefinite. Really, as long as they keep feeding you, that's indefinite. So your brain then becomes the form of torture, because it's your brain. You'll start fucking hallucinating. You'll start going crazy. You'll lose yourself, and you'll fucking wish anything else apart from that. I think I'm going to say isolation torture is the
isolation torture. See, this one was going to be an easy one for me the whole time, because all I need to do is basically take your torture and make it worse, which is very easy. Isolation is a great element of torture for sure. But I'm gonna do, in Iron Man 2, where Rhodey brings the Iron Man suit over to that military place, and then they deck it out with a bunch of machine guns and shit. That's what I'm gonna do right now. So isolation.
Didn't that make it worse? Wasn't the whole point of that specifically made it worse?
No, because then Tony made a better suit, and it was
okay, okay, all right. So I've presented my argument. You're gonna add a bunch of useless shit onto it, and then I'm gonna Tony Stark it and make it better again.
Well, that's not how this works, Judd. So anyway, it's nothing like Iron Man 2 at all. Actually, it's not even like that. So isolation, yeah. So a lot of the worst tortures people think about to start with are pain related. Now, pain is only registered if your brain allows it to. You have to. So, therefore, the thing that actually hurts whenever you're tortured is your brain. Your brain is the thing that's kind of, fucking things. So, that's what you want to target. Isolation is a big target of that. Now, there's other things you could do to make it even worse. So, isolation. I isolating in a shallow pool of various feces and bodily fluids, Because that's going to fuck you up. That's going to make it worse. You're still going to be able to survive. It's not going to make you any worse.
No, it's not. It's not, because you can get like really sick from that kind of shit. Like, they'd have to be... You'd be in and out of there, like, being sick. If they were really trying to keep you alive, you'd be in and out of there getting medical treatment done on you from, like, being sick. This is why I'm saying a very
shallow pool of it. You're in a shallow pool of it. Enough to be where it's gross. It's not going to affect you and make you die quicker by being in a shallow pool. It's going to be the psychological grossness of it. It's an enhancement to that. It's stimulating more sensors psychologically in a negative way.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I feel like there's some sickos out there that'd get off on that. Not me.
Yeah, look, there's some sickos who'd get off on being isolated. So, you got to talk about the general person. Now, we do have to introduce an element of physical pain into it, because that also is a negative aspect that could make it even worse. So you have to account for the fact that if we're going to cut someone or wound someone, they're going to die too quickly from the feces and stuff. So I've planned for that. What we're going to do is, every so often, there's going to be an arm come down, like one of those machine claw grabbers.
Come on now, this isn't practical. I gave you a very practical answer.
All right, then a fucking masked dude can do it. I don't fucking care. They come in and rip out a chunk of your hair.
All right.
Okay, because that's gonna fucking hurt. Like, I'm talking like an inch chunk. Just every so often. So by the time they've ripped out all your hair, the first rip is back, and they can rip that again. So it'll last for as long as it needs to. So we can do that. Then, projector on the wall. Horrible imagery. All of that going on. All the walls. You can't close your eyes forever. You're going to see it. Loud speakers. Not so loud it's going to burst your eardrums, but like unavoidably loud, horrific noises. But not all the time. It's like spaced out perfectly, so you want to have points where they're going for days in absolute silence. And then you might have days worth of absolutely horrific, like I'm talking like screams, like squelching.
No,
like...
this defeats the whole isolation thing, because the stimuli now, the stuff going on. It's
the worst bit of isolation isn't that you're not getting stimulated. It's social contact and also unpredictable nature.
No, but stimuli helps. Like this will actually help the guy more than it will fuck him up, especially if it's randomly spaced out, because that's him going, I wonder if there's going to be any horrific noises today. He shouldn't have that. It should just be, I am alone in here forever until I die. It should.
What if we removed the excitement of it and we had like an anticipation element? So you know what's coming next, and there's a countdown to it. Would that be better or worse?
I don't know. I just feel like first of all, I feel like this isn't a different form of torture. I feel like this is the same form of torture. You're just putting a fancy hat on it. So I don't know. I don't. So first of all, I feel like this whole argument's null and void in the first place. And secondly, the main point I'm getting at is that the dude is just there. He's not doing anything. He is existing, and that's the worst form of torture.
I really feel like you could manage that. You can't just exist in a void. That's impossible. So
no. So literally, it's like I say, it's like being in the hole at prison. You're in a very tiny room. There is a concrete bed there. There's a toilet. And every day, there is a bed there, yeah.
And a toilet. That's exciting. Yeah, I know, sleep and shit.
Yeah, and that's all you can do, because that's the basic necessities that they need to keep you alive.
What I'm doing in this, I'm gonna, pin my bed sheets to the wall and cut my arm, get a bit of blood. Not so much that I'm dying. I'm gonna finger paint on the wall.
From what? What are you gonna cut yourself with?
Toilet seat. I'm going to smash the toilet seat.
You're not going to... Shut up, you idiot. Not going to... It's a concrete toilet. Everything's concrete.
I didn't realize you said a concrete toilet. Okay.
It's It's the hole. It's like a hole in prison. It's everything's
Right.
concrete.
Okay. What I'm gonna do then in that case is I'm gonna grow my nails sharp.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cut myself with those.
Okay. Why couldn't you do that in your scenario?
Because then you would get infected.
But then he'd die, and then...
And also, you wouldn't be able to because there's no bed or any sheets there or anything like that. There's no ability to do that.
So then he'll probably fall asleep in the shit and then drown. You're not thinking about this, Jake. You need to think about it.
You physically can't do that. Your body reacts and wakes you up. You can't do that. So it makes you sleep deprived as well, which is also another form of torture.
I think you got to take the L on this one, buddy.
I think I do. I think I've Iron Man 2'd it, and then when Rhodey fires that bunker buster missile and it doesn't work.
You know what? It's exactly like fucking Iron Man 2.
It's ended up like Iron Man 2.
Bro, I've literally just Iron Man 2'd it.
Well, why don't you listeners tweet at TweetsBadly on Twitter and let us know what you think the worst actual torture methods that have actually been used. I know Judd's has been used, but I was getting a bit silly. Let us know what some of the realistic worst torture methods are that you know of. And follow us, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Spotify, everywhere, all of that junk. Streams Badly on pretty much everything, and Podcast Badly is the podcast, and also Tweets Badly on Twitter. Cool. Anything else, Judd?
Yeah, I want to do a freak of the week. I want to do a nice freak of the week.
Ooh, then week. It's time for this.
Freak of the week.
This is where Judd has met a freaky person, and we like to listen to them and appreciate their odd nature.
Okay, this is like you remember Russell Howard's Good News, and he not Good News, good News.
I remember Russell Howard's OnlyFans. That was good.
Yeah.
No, I remember watching Russell Howard's Good News on BBC iPlayer with you at our dad's house, and I used to love that. And then he basically went on to do the exact same show, but for Sky instead of BBC, called Russell Howard Hour. And for some reason, I didn't want to watch it at all. I think he got maybe too political. Is the thing.
Yeah, maybe he did.
And it didn't become fun anymore.
He used to do like a it's not all doom and gloom segment right at the end, just so people went away with something happening. This freak of the week is gonna be it's not all doom and gloom freak of the week, because the last couple have been sort of doomy and gloomy freaks that we've not actually liked. This guy, so. I didn't know about this guy before, but I never really had any real reason, because it was never too much of a real interesting freak. But now, a freak, of course, again being used in an endearing way this time. We love our freaks.
Yes, an odd and interesting, wacky person.
Yeah. So this guy, because what I was going to say is it's still in Leeds, but I'm now going to a different building site. I'm working on a different building site in Leeds, so it's more like in the middle of the city. So I have like a 20-minute walk on the morning from where I'm parked up to go to this building site. I could park closer, but it's like, I think my parking goes from being like £5 to £10, and also then I'm in the middle of Leeds, and fuck driving in the middle of Leeds, so I'd rather get up early and have the 20-minute walk. I kind of like it as well. It's nice to just have that 20-minute walk. But anyway, because of this 20-minute walk, I'm now going past this guy who I usually wouldn't go past, and he's always there at 7 o'clock in the morning, and he's there. And he's got a funny hat on, and he's got a little box in front of him, and he's playing the flute. Oh, no, it might not even be a flute. It might be like a panpipe or something, like a little thing. And he is fucking terrible. He is awful. He is so bad. But you know what? Every morning he's there at 7 o'clock. And he's probably there before then as well, because he's already got his whole shit set up, and he's already mid-riff when I get there. He's already on the fucking thing, so he's like already like in the zone. And I used to walk past him on the morning with my earphones in. I'd never think, oh, he's the fucking pan flute guy again. I'd never thought that. I was like, oh, he's a pan flute guy again. But now when I walk past him, I listen to him when I walk past because it's kind of like a motivation thing. Because when I wake up in the morning, like everybody, I lay in my bed for like a good 10, 20 minutes thinking, why, oh God, why? Please make it stop, please.
Yeah.
But this guy doesn't give a shit. I don't know. I can't see this guy waking up and going, I gotta fucking be on the street corner in like 20 minutes playing my pan flute. That guy loves it. He loves playing his fucking pan flute for like you know, a guy will throw in 10 pence or whatever the fuck. He loves it. He lives for that shit.
That's the type of person I wish I could bring myself to be. I can't.
Yeah.
I've really tried, and I can't. But I really wish I could.
So he's like he's a bit of a hero for me, this guy, because he's like a motivator. It's like, yeah, I could fucking lay here and, you know, not do anything, or I could get up and I could play the fucking pan flute and, you know, have a smile on my face. So
yeah,
there you go.
Whenever you're feeling like shit and you're really unmotivated to do something that you probably should do,
you can do it for anything as well.
Freak and you know how he gets up early and does his pan flutes, and just, you know, as the normies say, lives his best life.
He never bothers anybody either. Like, you know, you get beggars on the street who, you know, I mean, I'm not disparaging all beggars and like homeless people, but you'll get the people who are very obviously in that situation for self-inflicted reasons, and they'll come up to you and you'll like be like eating, or you'll be on the phone or something, and they'll shove like a thing in your face like, excuse me mate, can I have like 30p for the bus? And it's like, you're not going anywhere, you dick. I've seen you here for like 2 weeks. You're not going somewhere. Like, you're gonna. I tell you where you're going. You're going to the moon after you stuck a needle in your arm. You fucking gross bastard.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong though.
But this guy, he doesn't care. He's not there for your money. He's there because he likes playing the fucking pan flute. And he sucks at it, but you know what? God bless him.
You know what? Weirdly, I'm so glad he sucks at it. You see, it wouldn't be anywhere near as much motivation if he didn't. If he was good at it, it'd be like, oh, he's trying to get people to give him money because he's got the skill and he's trying to just do it at the optimal hours. But no, he's just... That's great. That might be my favourite freak you've ever told us about.
So, there you go.
What a lovely one. I don't know if that beats the dude who just threw up down himself and went and bought more beer. That was fucking wild.
He threw up down himself, walked into a Tesco, picked up a 4-pack and went, nice.
I think that guy's probably got the championship belt at the minute. But, I don't know, pan flute guys... In a different weight class, let's say, for wholesome freaks.
He's got the wholesome freak thing going on, so, yeah.
Oh, dear. Well, on that wholesome, freaky note, that's the end of podcast 143. Yes. You know when we organised to do a podcast on a Wednesday? Did you ever think that we'd end up doing 143 of these fuckers?
I thought I'm never going to get out of this fucking thing because I can't say no to it.
You like it. You enjoy it.
I can't wait for episode 1000 when we're like fucking 40 or something.
Do you know? I've got a theory why you like it. It's because you feel obligated to interact with me a certain amount, and this is an easy way to do that. It's like, if I didn't do this, I'd have to, like, actually go somewhere with him every other week or something like that. And then I don't want to have to do that. So I'm going to just, like, turn up to a call, he fucking sorts everything out, and then it's done. Easy obligation fulfilled.
So next week we're going to be talking... I like it because I can't entertain people as an actor anymore because I don't do that anymore, so... This is all I've got.
That's not a reason, though.
It is. I think being a washed-up actor is better than.
You skipped like the successful actor stage. You skipped that bit.
Yeah.
You did like 2 plays. Like, right, I'm ready to do the washed-up actor bit.
I was in a pilot episode for a TV show that never aired.
So you weren't in it then, were you? So you weren't in a pilot episode because he didn't air. So
that's like Mel Apocalypse, where they get this like indie band and they try to make them famous and they're like about to go on stage and they go into the back room and they're all like, their heads on heroin, and this guy goes, "No, guys, you've got it all backwards. You're supposed to get famous, then get addicted to heroin."
Yeah, that is how it goes. That's why I'm a washed-up alcoholic musician.
Yes,
Just the same. I was
just the same.
not famous at all, but
Yeah.
you know what? I played some decently
don't have
sized
to be-
crowds in folk
You don't
music.
have to be famous to be washed up. You just have to be depressed enough.
Yeah, I think I've got
We were
enough
supposed
depression
to
to
end this
compensate.
on a wholesome note. God
Oh shit! God damn it! Just remember the pan flute man. Remember the pan flute man. Okay, right? That's how it sounds. I don't think he's playing the pan flutes. I think he's holding pan flutes and just going. That's even better.
Yes,
Oh
it's
god, I'm
safe.
ending it. Fuck me. Okay.